7.3 Traditional WAN Connectivity 7.3.1 Traditional WAN Connectivity Options. To understand the WANs of today, it helps to know where they started. This topic discusses WAN connectivity options from the beginning. When LANs appeared in the 1980s, organizations began to see the need to interconnect with other locations. To do so, they need their networks to connect to the local loop of a service provider. This was accomplished by using dedicated lines or by using switch service from a service provider. Traditional WAN connections can be divided into two major categories. That's the dedicated one, also the switched LAN. For dedicated WAN, a connection is permanently available between two locations. As shown in the chart here, the dedicated connects to the lease line, and the lease line is for T1, T3, and E1 and E3. A lease line provides a dedicated point-to-point connection. So the key idea is that the dedicated equals to the connection is always there for the customer. And the other one is the switched LAN. The service provider's network is shared rather than having a permanently dedicated end-to-end path. There are two traditional types: the circuit switched and the packet switched. For the circuit switched, it is a circuit established before communication begins. And for the packet switched, the data is divided into packets or frames and carried across a shared provider network. The gray legacy area is important. The T1, T3, E1, E3, PSTN, ISDN, frame relay, and ATM are traditional legacy WAN technologies. Modern WANs generally use newer technologies such as Ethernet WAN services, broadband internet, MPLS, and SD-WAN. So the key point here is the dedicated means is reserved connection. Switch means provider resources are shared. 7.3.2 Common WAN Technology. When permanent dedicated connections were required, a point-to-point link using copper media was used to provide a pre-established WAN communication path from the customer premises to the provider network. Point-to-point lines could be leased from a service provider and were called a lease line. The term referred to the fact that the organizations pay a monthly lease fee to a service provider to use the line. A lease line is permanent, dedicated point-to-point WAN connection between two locations. The connection is pre-established and always available. The organization pays the service provider a monthly fee for the use of the line. Lease lines are also known as the leased circuit, serial link or serial line, point-to-point link, T1, E1, or T3, E3 line. They are available at different fixed bandwidth. The cost generally depends on the bandwidth and the distance. Of course, the higher bandwidth and the longer distance equals to higher cost. There are two systems to use to define the digital capacity of a copper media serial link. The T carrier, used in North America, T carrier provides T1 links supporting bandwidth up to 1.544 megabits per second, and the TS link supporting bandwidth up to 43.7 megabits per second. And there's a E carrier used in Europe. E carrier provides E1 links supporting bandwidth up to 2.048 megabits per second, and an E3 link supporting bandwidth up to 34.368 megabits per second. The tables in these 2 pages gonna talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of leased lines. The advantages are obvious, is simple, also better quality and availability. For simplicity, it's because it's point-to-point, and the point-to-point communication links require minimum expertise to install and maintain. The quality, because point-to-point communication links usually offer higher quality service if they have adequate bandwidth. The dedicated capacity removes latency or jitter between the endpoints. And also the availability. Constant availability is essential for some applications, such as e-commerce. Point-to-point communication links provide permanent, dedicated capacity which is required for voice over IP or video over IP. The disadvantages of leased lines are also pretty obvious. They are the cost, limited flexibility. The point-to-point links are generally the most expensive type of VLAN access. The cost of leased line solution can become significant when they are used to connect many sites over increasing distance. In addition, each endpoint requires an interface on the router, which increase equipment costs. Also, the limited flexibility. WAN traffic is often variable, and the leased lines have a fixed capacity, so that the bandwidth of the line seldom matches the need exactly. Any change to the leased line generally requires a site visit by the ISP personnel to adjust the capacity. 7.3.3 Circuit Switch Options. Circuit switched connections are provided by public service telephone networks. That's the PSTN carriers. The local loop connecting the CPE to the CO is copper media. There are 2 traditional circuit switch options. The PSTN is the traditional telephone network. It can also be used to provide dial-up internet WAN access. A typical connection works like this. The digital signals from the computer sent to the modem. The signal then sent it to the telephone line, and that signal becomes analog signal. And then that send it to the PSTN. PSTN for the signal to the modem, and that signal become digital again, and that reach to the remote network. The computer generates digital data, but traditional telephone lines were designed to carry analog voice signals. Therefore, a modem is needed. You can consider the modem equals to the modulator and the demodulator. Modulation means the digital signal is converted to analog signal. And the demodulation means the analog signal is converted to the digital data. The local loop is the copper telephone line connecting the customer's equipment to the telephone company's central office. In terms of the speed, the traditional dial-up is very slow. The maximum theoretical downstream speed is rarely 56 kilobits per second. ISDN is a circuit switch technology that enables the PSTN local loop to carry digital signals. These provided higher capacity switch connections than dial-up access. ISDN provides for data rates from 45 kilobits per second to 2.048 megabits per second. ISDN has declined greatly in popularity due to the high-speed DSL and other broadband services. ISDN is considered a legacy technology, with most major providers discontinued this service. Now let's talk about packet switch options, also the frame relay. Packet switching divides data into packets and send them across a shared provider network. Unlike circuit switching, there is no dedicated physical circuit for each communication session. Many customers can share the provider's network. Frame relay is a legacy Layer 2 WAN technology used to connect geographically separated LANs. A major advantage was that one physical router interface could connect to multiple remote sites. And let's discuss the asynchronous transfer mode, the ATM. ATM is a legacy packet switch WAN technology designed to carry voice, video, and data. Unlike Ethernet and frame relay, which use variable size frames, ATM use small fixed size units called cells, the ATM cell. Every ATM cell is exactly 53 bytes. It contains header and payload. The header is 5 bytes. It contains control and delivery information. The payload is 48 bytes. It contains the actual user data. Why fixed small cells? Small cells provide predictable transmission time. Imagine a voice packet waiting behind a very large data packet. It may experience delay. With ATM, every cell is small and the same size, so voice and video traffic doesn't have to wait behind the large frames. This made ATM well suited for delay-sensitive traffic, such as voice over IP and video. They need low and predictable delay. But its main disadvantage is its overhead. Every 48 bytes of data requires a 5-byte ATM header. At the cell level, 5 divided by 53 is about 9.4% of each ATM cell is header overhead. Additional overhead can occur when larger network layer packets must be broken into many ATM cells and later reassembled.